Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're back with another Real Talk with Rox. Okay, this is honestly something that I've been wanting to talk about for so long, again, along with the confidence, like my talk about confidence. But this one is about the super toxic, mentally abusive relationship that I was in a while ago now. It's actually my birthday today, so I felt like, I don't know, I felt like kind of like it was a good milestone for me to talk about this because I finally feel open enough to talk about it. And I'm not honestly trying to out anybody or talk poorly of anyone. And if there's anybody out there that knows who I'm talking about, I'm not trying to, like I said, talk down upon anybody or out anyone, expose anyone. But it's more so, the reason that I want to talk about this is actually to inspire you guys. If you guys are going through something that I went through, I want to inspire you guys and empower you guys to move on and to know that there is life after what you're going through, okay? The way that it started, I never thought that it would end up to be such a dysfunctional relationship. Honestly, I think for a lot of toxic, dysfunctional, mentally abusive relationships, they start off great, and that's why you kind of get hooked. And for me personally, this person was very, very manipulative, and I obviously didn't see that at first, but he almost put me on a pedestal and treated me so nice, so sweet, so caring until, oh wow, I have a booger. Love that. Okay, I feel like that was almost kind of like a tactic actually to get me to where he wanted, and then it switched overnight. It was like the flip of a switch. He was a different person, and the entire rest of the time that we were together, it was almost like I was trying to get back to where it was at the beginning. And that's how the whole cycle started. Once he had me kind of where he wanted me per se, everything changed. And then it was a lot more of a control game. By the way, before I get real deep into this story, I'm using the Urban Decay All-Nighter. I've really been liking this foundation. You guys know, a lot of you may know, I have a partnership with them. It's kind of like a year-long partnership. Not even year-long, but it's a long-term relationship, I would say. And I'm able to talk about any products that I like from this range and everything, so that it's obviously super genuine, and I'm just talking about the products that I genuinely use and love and whatever. So yes, this guy, love it. Full coverage, matte finish, great for the winter time because it really does stay on. Anyways, okay, so getting deeper into the story, it became very, very, very controlling. And at this point, I obviously still wanted to salvage the relationship. By the way, this is a long relationship. I mean, it was pretty long. It was a 3-year relationship, I think, or almost 3 years. So it was a long time running. I'm kind of running through it just to get to the parts that I think will really help you guys. But it was one of the most painful times of my life because I was so reliant on someone else and somebody that wasn't good for me, somebody that was manipulative, somebody that was super controlling. He at one point controlled everything I did. He gave me rules to follow that I did because at the time, I thought that I loved him and I thought that I needed to do anything I could to keep the relationship going. So he gave me rules, I wasn't allowed to leave my house past 10 p.m. I wasn't allowed to hang out in a group of friends if any males were present, or at least I wasn't supposed to. I wasn't supposed to talk to my ice skating partner off of the ice. Honestly, it was crazy, and I followed these rules because I truly, truly thought and believed in my heart that this was the person for me and that I was gonna spend the rest of my life with him because he had treated me so well in the beginning. And I think the change for our situation came from trust issues because he always thought that I was dating my figure skating partners, and I never was. I would never cheat on him. I never had cheated on him. I would never cheat on anybody. But he always had the fear that I was for some reason, for really no valid reason. Like, I didn't give him a valid reason to feel that way, but he did. Like, if I did not answer my phone within a certain amount of time, like let's say like 30 minutes, he would literally blow up my phone, like text me, call me, voicemails, everything, being like, wow, where are you? Are you cheating on me? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? So after a while, it conditioned me to feel like I was almost on a leash. Like, I could not do anything without telling him. I had to follow all these rules. I had to do what he wanted and be what he was saying he wanted in order for me to keep this relationship going. I was, like, at one point legit brainwashed into thinking that I had to do anything that this person wanted me to. He had the idea to get a tattoo of the day that we said I love you, okay? Back in like 2013. Terrible year, honestly, terrible year. He almost turned the situation around and was like, well, you should get one too. And when he said that, like, I didn't want him to get mad. So I, at first, was like, yeah, maybe we could do that. But I didn't honestly think that we were actually gonna go through with it. So then, he's like really set on this idea now, okay? And I start to get cold feet, like when we're about to go to this tattoo shop. And I'm like, honestly, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I can do this. Like, it just seems so extreme. Like, it's gonna be on my skin forever. I had never had any tattoos before this, so like I was kind of like, I don't know, like maybe I shouldn't do this. Like, I got cold feet. He literally sat there and dragged me into the tattoo shop. I was like in tears, pretty much. And he was like, you're doing this or else we're breaking up. Because if you don't feel confident enough to get this tattoo on your skin forever, that means you don't actually think that we're actually gonna be together forever. And obviously, like, you guys, like, I'm sure you guys know, if you have been in this situation, like, it just gets so toxic and in your head that you just want to make things better and you just want to make them happy. So I go through with it. He's holding me down. He's like, he tells the tattoo artist, don't stop, whatever she says, don't stop. She's getting this tattoo. So the tattoo artist does it. We were in like this little tattoo shop in like Corona area. And honestly, I don't think that like in a bigger city that they would have done it, because they, like, the tattoo artist definitely saw how distraught I was over the situation. Like, a little 18-year-old girl, maybe 19, but whatever, like a little, a young girl coming in being like, I don't really want to get this, and then her boyfriend being like, you're getting it or else we're breaking up, because that means that you don't love me, because you don't have this commitment to me, so that means you don't want to be with me forever. So I go through with it. I mean, it's still there. But that's just like one example of how brainwashed I had been. And I wish, like, honestly, I wish that I had somebody to go to and somebody to talk to at the time, because the one thing about manipulative people and toxic relationships or emotionally abusive relationships is that that person will try to distance you from your family and friends so that you don't have anybody except for them. And I know that a lot of you guys out there probably feel the same, because anybody that I know personally that has gone through something similar always says the same thing of like, that person that you're with, your significant other, always tries to distance you so that you have nobody to turn to except for him or her, depending on like who you're dating. So I felt like I had nobody. My family like despised this person, like despised. I obviously didn't want my family to hate like my boyfriend, so I would cover for him and make it seem like he was super happy. I mean, like, he made me super happy and that there was nothing wrong, and that he was really nice and always treated me right, even though that was like completely false, and I was basically lying to everybody that I knew because I didn't want to admit that this person was making me feel terrible every single day. And it wasn't until later that I realized, like, and this is something that I definitely wanted to say, like, if your family and friends do not like your boyfriend for some reason or girlfriend, there's usually a reason, you know? Like, I get that some parents can be very hard on you, but that's a telltale sign. Like, if almost all of your friends and family do not like this person, like, there's a reason for that. They obviously see that you're unhappy. They see that you're being controlled or manipulated or put in a corner. And that, for me, like, I wish I had seen those signs. I wish I had listened to my family, my mom and my dad, and even my brother was, like, bringing it up. I wish I had listened to them and cut him off sooner, because I know that I would have been so much happier, because I spent 2 or 3 years literally just sad every single day. Just, like, almost borderline depressed. Oh, yes. This lid color, I love this lid color. This is from NARS, and it's called Pattaya. It's a really pretty gold shade. I've actually been using it a lot, so that's what I'm using on my lid today. Anyways, I'm not joking you or exaggerating when I say we fought every single day for like the last 6 months to year of our relationship, and that's not okay. Like, if you're going through something, like, whoever you're with should be making you happy, right? Like, when you think about it logically, why in the world would you be with someone or stay with someone who is literally making you cry every single day, like getting in fights every day about little things, and then on top of all that, turning it around so that it's always you that's the issue? I felt like I was almost blinded by love. Like, I felt like I loved this person so much at the time, or what I thought was love, that I was willing to do anything to make it work. So every day we would fight, and then every day I would find myself literally crawling back, begging for forgiveness. Like, I would literally sit there and beg him, like, please take me back, please take me back. And I think that's one of the reasons, now looking back, that he manipulated the situation so that I was always wrong, was so that I would always be the one to, like, come back and feel like I needed him. Like, I needed him for my happiness. It became this sick cycle. Like, it was almost expected. Like, I almost expected to just get into a fight every day, which is not normal. That's not okay. If you are in that, like, you need to take yourself out. And for a long time, I was definitely in denial. Like, I didn't think that I was in this, like, dysfunctional relationship or mentally abusive relationship or anything. But now looking back, like, I can see all the points. And there's this thing, I'm gonna zoom in on it for you guys. There's this thing called the cycle of abuse, and this can be, like, referring to physically abusive relationships, mentally abusive relationships, emotionally abusive relationships, and it really did, like, ring true. When I read this, like, this is what I was in. So to explain it, basically, first, tensions build, so that's when, like, something's starting to bother one person or the other person or both. There's an incident of abuse. That's step 2 of this little cycle, and that's acting out verbally, emotionally, or physically. So that could be, like, a lot of anger, threats. I know for me, he would literally threaten me every single day. We're gonna break up. I'm breaking up with you. I'm never gonna talk to you again. You obviously do not love me. If you're not doing this, this, and this, if you did this, oh my gosh, that means you don't love me. He would threaten me every day with the breakup, because he knew that that would break me down. Like, at the time, that was the worst thing in the world for me. Then there's a reconciliation where the abuser apologizes, makes excuses, denies the occurrence of abuse, or claims that it wasn't as bad as the victim thinks. I cannot tell you how true that is for my situation. Like, every single time we would get into a fight, he would turn around, say that I was the problem, say that I was the issue, threaten me with a breakup. He would turn it back around, and afterwards kind of, like, apologize once I've begged him back. Like, I would go to him and I would beg him, please take me back, please, let's be together. He would turn around and be like, what are you talking about? Obviously, like, I love you. It wasn't as bad as you thought. Like, I obviously wasn't gonna leave you, after I've already come back and begged for his forgiveness, okay? Then the fourth one is calm, which is basically like the incident is forgotten, and then you just go back to, like, the honeymoon phase. In my case, we didn't, because it was already, like, the relationship had already gone down, like, a different road, if you will. But we went back to things were normal, if that makes sense. So if that rings true to you, if you feel like that resonates with the relationship you're in right now, or maybe something you've gone through, that is definitely a sign of an emotionally abusive relationship. And if they've taken physical action, then obviously that's a sign of a physically abusive relationship. For me, I was so deep in denial that I did not want to admit that I was in like a bad relationship. I thought like he was the one. We were just going through a rough patch. Rough patches don't last for 6 months to a year, okay? But I was in such deep denial that I was like, it's just a rough patch. We're gonna get through this. I'm still gonna end up with him. I'm still gonna marry him and spend the rest of my life with him. It's just a rough patch, and then we can get back to where we were when we started, when he was really nice to me and we never fought. And I think this is a really important point because the denial was so real for me that if you guys are going through the same thing, like I need you guys to realize that like what you're in is not right and you deserve so much more. I wish that I had like a friend or family member that was there for me that could have like sat me down and told me like really like real talk, just tell me like you're not, like you don't deserve this. You don't deserve to be crying every night. You don't deserve to be relying on him for your happiness. And that's what I want to be for you guys, okay? So I want to sit down right now and tell you guys like if you are in a relationship that sounds like it's has that cycle of abuse in any way, like you do not deserve that. And the only way, the first step that you're going to be able to get out of this toxicity is to realize it. And I know because I was in such deep denial. Like I'm telling you, I denied it like my heart denied it. Like my head denied it. Every part of my being denied that I was in this type of relationship. It came to the point for me where like I was exhausted beyond belief and I couldn't even deal with the pain anymore of like this every single day going through this cycle of like breaking up, begging for forgiveness, getting back together, trying to get things back to where they were, and it never being where they were. We decided that it'd be best to take a break, which is like surprising because we would never say that. By the way, I'm gonna pop on some lashes. Actually, this is really exciting. Sorry to like interrupt this story, but these are the House of Lashes Radiants, and if you follow me on Instagram, they just relaunched them, and they kind of like relaunched them along with my birthday, so today, so you'll be seeing like the video that we made and stuff on my IG, but they're really, really beautiful, so I wanted to use them today. I was so excited when they wanted to relaunch them because they're one of my favorite lashes, and they were limited edition. So, like, I felt like I could never use them on camera because I knew that it would be hard to get them and that, like, you guys wouldn't be able to see them. But they relaunched them for, like, a limited time, and they're in this really pretty gold packaging. Okay, anyways, back to the story. But low-key, no joke, get them while they're hot because I know that they only made like a limited amount, and if you like volume and drama and like that flair on the end, these are kind of like Iconics but like a more glam version of Iconics. Whoa, they're like a glammed up Iconic, and Iconics are already pretty glam. These are like a glam 2.0 Iconic. They're so beautiful. So if you are looking for some nice holiday lashes that are gonna add like a lot of glam, boom, right there. Okay, back to the story. So we had actually decided at this point like maybe we should take a break. And I took that as we're still together, but we're just taking a break. You know, like most people would take it that way. Then a couple weeks later, I get a call from my dad, okay, which already was like that made things obviously awkward. So I get a call from my dad, and he's like, hey, are you and the person still dating? Because I just heard the skating world's like a really small world, so that's why he's calling me. But I just heard that he's asking out this other girl who's like a mutual person that we both knew. So I call him, and I honestly was not even mad. Like, I was upset, but I wasn't like yelling. That's what I'm trying to say. So I call him up, and I just say like, hey, I just want to like double check. Like, I kind of thought we were still together, but just, like, what's going on? He literally turns this around and cusses me out, calls me all these, like, obscene words that I don't even feel comfortable saying online. He basically said that I was the issue because I'm trying to control his life. I'm a beepity beep face. Once again, turned the situation around, said that I was being controlling and this and that and whatever. Later to find out that he was asking her out and that he was later dating her. But that's besides the point. So it got to the point where I kind of was just like, I'm done putting up with the pain. And to be completely honest, I thought that he was going to call me. I thought that he was going to come crawling back and that I was going to be the final one to kind of be like, no, because now I had realized, right, that like I didn't deserve this and that I didn't want to be a part of this. So I genuinely thought he was going to come back. He was going to come to me crying, saying, please, like, forgive me. I never treated you right. I need you to come back. And he never did. He never called. We were obviously both in figure skating, so like we ran in a similar friend group, and from what other people told me, like he was fine. He actually started dating this other girl, the one that my dad had brought up. And from there, like it sunk in that it was really over. And that was really, really, really hard for me to accept, to be honest. That was really difficult for me to accept, like, when it was finally over. But in a sense, even though I was sad, I felt relief. And I think for you guys out there that are currently going through this, like, I want you to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's so sad because you've relied on somebody for so long that it feels hard and it feels like you're never going to get out. But once you do, you feel relief. Even though you're sad, you do feel relief. I think one of the key factors of why I really stayed strong and I somehow got out, honestly, at one point, I thought it was hopeless. I thought that even though I was unhappy, I was going to end up with him. I'll just suffer through my life because I can't leave. Like, I felt so reliant on him. But once I finally got out, I feel like what actually helped me is finding something that I was passionate about. And for me, honestly, that was YouTube. I was still figure skating at this time, but when I had my downtime, when I had my free time, I needed something that I was passionate about, that I could pour my energy into, that I could pour everything into, all of my energy that was previously going towards him, going towards negativity, you know? So, like I said, for me, that was YouTube. And I think everybody will have their own thing that they are able to get into and pour their energy into. It's crazy looking back at old videos because on the inside, I was so sad and lost during this time. And like, you know, obviously I had my YouTube channel already, so some of you may have seen those videos. And like a lot of you may not have known like what torture and depression I was going through on the inside, because when I turned that camera on, it was almost like I got taken to a different world where like I was able to connect with people who shared the same interest with me or like try to inspire others. Like that was the main reason I wanted to start this YouTube channel. So it's crazy that it's taken me this long to be able to be open and talk to you guys about like real topics like this, because that was really what I wanted to do from the beginning. But that was really what helped me, because I was able to put everything into that, all my time, all my energy that was previously spent crying about him. And all of you guys, because once it started to gain momentum, I didn't feel alone anymore. And that was like, I think in a lot of mentally abusive relationships, that's probably like the one thing that you feel the most, is you feel like if you don't have them, you're gonna be all alone and you're gonna end up alone and you're gonna not have anybody. And I felt that too, but it's not true, okay? It's not true. You will find other people that love you. By the way, this is not about Tim at all. A lot of you guys probably know Tim from my vlogs on my vlog channel. And I dated Tim after this person. So just to clear the air, if you guys were thinking that this was about Tim, since I said like I was dating this person when I already had my YouTube channel, not about Tim at all. Tim was like the sweetest person. Obviously it didn't work out for different reasons, but wasn't about him. The thing that I'm trying to get at here is that you have to like retrain your mind to not rely on this person or anybody else for your happiness. And I feel like for me, that's still something to this day that's like, it's a journey, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't just happen overnight, but it's about trying your best to reclaim your happiness. And what I mean by that is almost like retraining your mind, not feel like you have to be relying on this person or, like I said, anybody else for your happiness. I feel like for me, like one thing that really helped actually was Instagram accounts that have like almost positive affirmations. Obviously Instagram, like that's a whole nother topic that like I want to get to about comparing yourself to others. That's not the Instagram that I'm talking about. The Instagram I'm talking about is more so like the positive accounts that share quotes and stories and stuff like that. Like that was something that really helped me because like I said, I was distanced from my family and friends about this topic. Like I don't think I even told anybody when we actually ended things or like when things were ending because I thought, oh my God, but like what if we actually get back together? I don't want them to think that we ended things and then them to think that like we've broken up and gone back together, even though that happened every single day. So turning to Instagram and those like positive accounts that would kind of like just give you positive affirmations, that really, really helped me. And overall, just kind of like trying to recreate traditions or memories in my mind, like stuff that we used to do together. Like it's honestly very empowering to like start to do things yourself and start to be in control of your own emotions. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer coming in strong. No, honestly, love this stuff. Anyways, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you are going through this, if you just got out of a relationship like this, there is light. And when you do finally get out of the cycle per se, you really will feel relief. And on top of that, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Like I know that if I didn't go through these experiences, I would not be the person that I am today. Honestly, I wouldn't even be here today. Like he was literally the reason that I started my YouTube channel. He was the reason that I continued my YouTube channel after this heartbreak. It was what I had to turn to. Like, I would literally not be here today if it weren't for this experience. People come into your life, and this is one of my favorite quotes actually, people either come into your life as a lesson or a blessing. And I'm like, I really, really, really believe that because although that was such a hurtful time in my life and I felt so lost, so depressed, so reliant on somebody else, like, I would not have grown as a person if it weren't for that, you know? I did end up having to kind of cut all ties in order to move on, and I think that's like honestly a healthy way, and I'm not like, it's not to be mean to them or like to try to be spiteful. It's more so because your health and your happiness comes first. So if you have to do that, you need to do that, you know? And for me, like I always generally speaking, this is just my personality to see the good in people. So even to this day, like there's some times where I reminisce and I think about like the good times that we had. But you can do that if that's your way, but you can never forget the lessons that you learned and how you felt at your lowest lows and what it took to get out of that. And that's something that always sticks with me, that I feel like I take into like other aspects of my life. One sec, trying to do my blush here. Love a good birthday glam, honestly. love. I really wanted to talk to you guys about this for a long time, but I thought that, like I said before, like I thought my birthday was actually like a really good time to talk about it, because I am so ready to inspire you guys on a real level, like really help you guys out. And I want you to know that I really am here for you guys, and I want to be here because I know firsthand how lonely that situation was. Like, I literally was all alone. I felt like I had nobody once he was gone and like actually officially out of my life. And I never want you guys to feel that way, because that was honestly, it was hard. Like, it was very difficult. So I want you, again, to know that you're not alone. I'm in this with you guys. I support you guys. I want to empower you guys. And if you're currently in this situation, like, to re-find your value and regain your happiness back, or gain your happiness back. It honestly feels so crazy to sit here talking about this. Honestly, like, I feel like it has come so full circle since, just a few years ago, I was sitting here in front of the camera because I had to, because that was the only thing I had in my life after this relationship. And now, like, I'm so happy to be able to use this platform to hopefully help you guys out. Almost in a weird way, it feels like maybe that was a reason that all of this happened to me, and why I turned to YouTube, and why I felt so passionate about continuing to grow and connect with you guys. Like, maybe this was the reason to, like, then be able years later to turn it around and really try to use my platform for good. Everything happens for a reason, though. Everything happens for a reason. Throwing a little nude lip action. Honestly, though, I love really nude nudes, especially on my birthday for some reason, because it makes me feel like it's kind of like the lip equivalent of like a birthday suit to me. Now that it's dry, yes, honey. This is a Dose of Color Supernatural. It's actually one of my favorite nudes. I just didn't know if it was gonna match with my skin tone right now. Let's do a little gloss action. I think I'll go with Literally from Kylie Cosmetics. Wow, such an OG product. But yeah, I really hope that this video helps you guys out. I feel like a weight has been lifted now that I've finally been able to talk to you guys. It's actually something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. Set everything in place. Urban Decay all-nighter. Yes. Thank you guys again for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you did like it or if you found it helpful. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.